In 1984, two superstars burst onto the NBA scene, Michael Jordan and Charles Barkley. For Jordan, the third pick of that famed draft, the taste of success was satisfying. His 7 scoring titles and acrobatic dunks helped the NBA reach new heights. Charles Barkley, the 5th player selected, has been dominant in his own right. Sir Charles has always commanded attention both on and off the court. The difference between these two is striking. Michael Jordan's legacy is established. 3 MVP trophies and 3 straight NBA titles places him among the NBA elite. Jordan's last crown came in 1993 at the expense of his close friend. That would be the closest Barkley would come to his elusive dream. He remains one of the few superstars without an NBA title. Now it is 1996 and the road is still divided. Michael Jordan has escalated his game to new heights, while Charles Barkley is still looking to fulfill his lifelong dream.
This is the NBA on NBC.
On a bitter, cold 16-degree day in Chicago, we welcome you to the NBA Game of the Week. A capacity crowd, better than 21,000 turning out at the United Center for the Phoenix Suns and the Chicago Bulls. Hi, everybody. I'm Marv Halbert along with Matt Kukas. And on the Super Sunday, we bring you the NBA's super team. The Chicago Bulls off to a magnificent start with that record of 37-3. They are perfect at home, 21-0, 14 straight wins. That equals the Bulls' franchise record, and things could not be much better for Phil Jackson and his Bulls.
In the early part of the season, the Bulls were just winning. Now the pieces are starting to fit. How scary is that? You've got Dennis Rodman's rebounding you, giving you 5 extra shots a game and all that feistiness. You've got Scottie Pippen's brilliant all-around floor game making things happen. And you've got Michael scoring, defending, and competing. The only thing to stop the Bulls games would be complacency or injury, and complacency just doesn't fit into the equation.
And Matt, for the 17-22 Phoenix Suns, it has been certainly a different story, a disappointing injury hit season. Look at this list: Danny Manning, Kevin Johnson, Hot Rod Williams, Charles Barkley have all been sidelined. Manning's still out. Hot Rod returns today. Barkley and Johnson have made their way back, and both are playing well.
Until the reinforcements arrive, it's the Chuck and KJ show. And Charles Barkley still one of the most productive, entertaining players in the NBA. And Kevin Johnson still capable of playing the point guard position as well as anybody. For the Suns to stay in playoff contention, Charles Barkley and Kevin Johnson must stay healthy.
All right, so coming up, it's the Bulls and the Suns from the Windy City. The start of Super Sunday here on NBC. We'll be right back. Back in Chicago, let's check out the starting lineup. First for the Suns, game 4 of an 8-game road trip that carries over 13 days. They've won 2 of their first 3. Kevin Johnson and Wesley Person in the backcourt. AC Green is the center. He'll be going up against 7'2" Luke Longley, at least at the start. And Charles Barkley, along with the rookie from Wisconsin, Michael Finley, a native of Chicago, on the front line. For the Chicago Bulls, the starting lineup for this club that has won 14 in a row. 37 up, 3 down, best record in the NBA. Michael Jordan leading the league in scoring, averaging better than 31 per game. Ron Harper's played very well, both offensively and defensively as of late. And up front, Luke Longley has also played well recently, along with Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman. The coach of the Bulls, Phil Jackson, and he and his staff will handle the Eastern Conference All-Stars in San Antonio. For Phil, a second All-Star coaching appearance by virtue of the Bulls having the best record in the Eastern Conference, and the head man of the Phoenix Suns back for a 3rd stint as head coach of Phoenix, Cotton Fitzsimmons. who began in the NBA back in 1970 when Jerry Colangelo, then the Suns' young general manager, coached him out of Kansas State to coach the Suns in their third year of existence. Well, our usual sideline reporter, Ahmad Rashad, is busy covering that other game today, Matt. So we are joined on the sidelines today by Dan Hicks. Let's go to Dan.
All right, thank you, Marv. The Suns are slowly getting better. You mentioned John Hot Rod Williams. He will play for the first time in 13 games today. He's been coming back from a right leg injury. He was fitted with a knee brace on Monday. He just joined the team yesterday, and I talked to him. He said, I don't know how good a shooter I'll be or how rusty I'll be. Charles Barkley has been back a week since toe surgery. His shoe has been fitted with a special cap. He says, I'm only 75 to 80% back physically, but Marv, maybe the most inspirational comeback being staged this weekend is by your partner, Matt Guokas, coming back from the flu. He's less than 100%, Marv.
Thank you, Dan. Yes, a Willis Reed-like appearance by Matt. The officials, Joe Crawford, Luis Grillo, and Ron Alesiak. And the tip controlled by the Bulls.
Well, the Bulls are just playing at such a high level of confidence right now. Their triangle offense has been clicking. Their defense has been outstanding. Their running game, everything is just going right for Chicago.
And the Bulls in recent games like to get both Hopper and Longley off early, and it's usually one of the two taking the early shots.
And the biggest change for the Suns since Cotton has taken over is more structure and keep the ball in the hands of this man, Kevin Johnson. Let him control.
Nice pass from Barkley, but Jordan on the rejection of Kevin Johnson. Open shot for Jordan. Pippen with the save. What a play by Pippen. And now fires for three. Scottie Pippen able to save it along the baseline and then took the return pass to hit from downtown.
Scottie's been shooting an incredible 45% from beyond the arc. A tremendous improvement from his overall. Now the line has been moved in the last couple of years. That's helped dramatically.
And he hit 4 of 6 last Sunday against Detroit. Good play by Jordan. It deflected off Johnson.
Nice give and go cut for Kevin Johnson as he makes that knife between the lane. But Michael Jordan coming from behind to get that tip, and then Scottie Pippen finishing off with a three-pointer at the Chicago end.
Rodman being played by Barkley. And here is Jordan. Yes. Bulls 5 and the Suns nothing.
You see the Suns pushing the ball even after makes. They want to explore a scoring opportunity. They don't want to get into a helter-skelter game, however, with a team like the Chicago Bulls, especially here at the United Center.
Nice move by Barkley on the turn. He had Rodman along the baseline, and the foul is called. Rodman called for the hook. We were talking yesterday with Charles Barkley about the matchup with Dennis Rodman, and he said that he'd have to give a couple of shots. Was that the way he
something
put it?
Like that. He basically said he likes to let Dennis know that he's there. He's going to pop him very early to let Dennis Rodman know that Charles isn't going to take a lot of Dennis's sometimes nonsense.
Longley was looking for the proper spacing, did not have the shot, and then hits the beautiful spinning jumper.
And a good thing he made it. Michael Jordan was frowning at Luke all the way. He wanted the ball as he had post position on Kevin Johnson, but I'm sure he'll tell Luke about it sometime down the road here.
Phoenix Suns come off a win in Milwaukee on Friday night, winning by 10. They shot 56% from the field, and a foul is called. Foul on Ron Hopper.
Normally the Bulls like to go inside to Luke Longley. He happened to get caught up at the high post, and that is not his game, putting it on the floor and making moves, but got away with it that time.
Barkley. And Rodman able to dive for the rebound.
Well, they're such a good rebounding team to begin with. Scottie Pippen's an outstanding rebounder, as is Michael Jordan, who averages 6 a game. And then you throw Rodman into the mix, you've got a special rebounding team.
And it will be Phoenix ball. Phoenix Suns have won 3 of the last 4 after losing 8 of their previous 10 games, and much more to come on the road. Tuesday night in Miami, then at Atlanta, games at Cleveland and Washington. So this a long road trip Here is Finley. And the Suns off to a very poor start.
Well, they're just not getting real good shots. That's not Michael Finley's strong suit, shooting from the perimeter. But without Dan Marley and Danny Ainge, who players who were with the Suns before, who were able to spread the floor, give three-point threats, now it's very tight in there.
Luke Longley got a piece of the glass.
He didn't chip it, I hope.
Change of direction by Johnson. And it's a three for Person. Wesley Person, in his second year out of Auburn, a first-round draft pick last season, puts the Suns on the board.
Well, Chuck's little brother, Wes Person, is the one player that gets Cotton Fitzsimmons, a man that can spread the floor. So if you get double team on Barkley, Person get the open shot, or you get penetration from Kevin Johnson, he'll be open for that kick out.
20-second timeout called by the Chicago Bulls. And to give you an idea of how well the Bulls are going, look at these categories. They lead the NBA in scoring, better than 107 points per game. They're killing clubs. Point differential, 12.5 per game. Three-point shooting at 41%. 49% field goal shooting overall. That's second in the league. And the assist at 25 a game.
It goes hand in hand with being 37-3.
Bulls 7. And the Suns 3. We're just underway here at the United Center. Pippen to the fadeaway. Barkley tried to save it, but he stepped out on the baseline.
I think Phil Jackson took that last 20-second timeout to let Luke Longley let his teammates have the ball and get some shots up there. Normally the Bulls like to go inside to Longley early.
Longley able to rip the rebound down and then had it knocked away. Here comes Johnson. Going up against a very solid defensive player in Ron Harper. They isolate Kevin Johnson, and he went to the scoop. Beautifully done by Kevin Johnson.
Well, he's the most difficult player to keep from penetrating.
Michael Jordan off the lead pass. The Suns did not get back, and the Bulls lead 9-5.
Didn't get back and didn't get up. I don't think anything could have stopped that. That was a perfect pass.
And a nice pass from Barkley. Setting up AC Green, 9-7, Chicago. Harper met on the switch. Longley now being played by Person. And Pippen is fouled. Michael Finley, very excited about playing here at the United Center. Grew up in Chicago. Starred at Wisconsin.
Well, Bulls always dangerous in transition and in the open floor. Scottie Pippen, in effect, the point guard for the Chicago Bulls. They like to get the ball into him on fast break situations. He sees the floor so well, makes good decisions. And when you have people running the wings, like a Dennis Rodman and, of course, a Michael Jordan, who can elevate like that, it makes it easy to be a player in the middle and make plays.
So the Bulls lead by 3. Phoenix Suns last year finished first in the Pacific at 59-23. In the playoffs, swept Portland first round, then lost to Houston in 7 in the Western Conference semifinals. This year they have been ripped by injuries. Person just did get it off with 1 on the shot clock. So Person with 5 points, and the Bulls now lead by 1.
Michael Jordan inside posting up Kevin Johnson. They want to go to that a lot and make him pay for what he does at the other end.
And Scottie Pippen with his second three-pointer of this first quarter. The Bulls lead 13-9. Open shot for Barkley, but he passed it up to find Green. Beautiful pass on the hop for AC Green.
Well, the Bulls trying to force the pick and roll down to the baseline. Charles doing the right thing, holding his position, and then seeing the floor so well. And the beautiful bounce pass to exploit a normally tough defensive club in situations like that.
Longley pushed by Green. 6:02 remaining in this first quarter. Bulls by 2. The foul was called on AC Green. Timeout taken. You are watching the NBA on NBC. For Cotton Fitzsimmons, it is his third stint as head coach of the Suns, taking over from Paul Westphal. He was the Suns' senior executive vice president, handling color commentary on radio and television. We asked Cotton, what is the most difficult part of taking over at this point?
Well, the most difficult part is doing something I've never done before. I've never taken over a ball club during the course of the season. I've always had my training camp. I've had my 8 preseasons. Back in the old days, my 12 preseasons. And you had time to look at it and decide what you were going to do. When you take over a situation like this, when they're facing the toughest part of their schedule, and you're playing back-to-back games as well as maybe every other night, it's very difficult to get the work in.
Cotton's philosophy is very simple, very basic. He's got a great point guard in Kevin Johnson. Keep the ball in his hands, keep some structure, keep some control.
We're just under 6 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Pippen is open for the 3. Hit 2 earlier, rebounded by Barkley. Suns have hit their last 5 shots after the slow start. They were down 7-0.
I want to keep an eye on the matchup, but Michael Jordan against Kevin Johnson. Michael telling us before the game he respects his penetration and his drive. He said, I can't keep him from penetrating. I have to give ground.
And they'll jump it up.
Well, Ron Harper, we saw him last week in Detroit have an outstanding first half defensively, and that's where he has really helped this team. Any kind of scoring he gives them is a bonus, but he's I want to say outstanding. He's a much better defensive player than most people give him credit for, and there you saw the hustle play to force at least a jump ball.
Ron Harper, originally a first-round draft pick of Cleveland, 8th selection overall, a major star in his days with the Cavaliers, but series of knee operations have changed his style of play. Not able to go to the slashing drive. That was his game in his earlier years.
And that sigh of relief you hear is Jerry Krause, who gave him a big contract last year, about $4 million a year for 4 years, not knowing that Michael Jordan was coming back.
Shot clock is at 6. Pippen for 3. And Barkley gets it down to the hanging Finley. Michael Finley.
Well, the Bulls have had a couple of poor possessions in a row where Scottie Pippen has had to take a long three-point shot, feeling that the shot clock was winding down. As the Suns are doing a good job of keeping the Bulls away from the basket.
Longley. And Harper on the ball. There's Harper with the drive. And the Bulls now lead 15-13 with 4.5 remaining in this first quarter. Marv Albert with Matt Dukas and Dan Hicks from the United Center. The start of a big sports day here on NBC on Super Sunday. Kevin Johnson got inside, could not convert. And Dennis Rodman with the rebound and then fires the outlet high and far.
Well, the shot by Luke Longley, and the Suns appear to have good inside rebounding position, but Charles Barkley didn't keep body contact on Dennis Rodman, who is always flailing around that basket. He just kept it alive, and Ron Harper finishing off the play.
Person changed his mind. They double up on Barkley. Again, the good feed. Johnson had the shot tipped away. And here comes Pippen. Harper on the wing. Harper challenging and is hacked. Or is it an offensive foul? It is offensive foul on Harper.
Well, Ron Harper found himself out of control going in on the left side, and no complaint there on the call by referee Joe Crawford, as he's going to use that left arm clearly to wipe out Wesley Person.
Good play by Person, able to hold his ground. Finley with the fake on Pippen. Here is Green. A.C. Green has tied the game at 15.
But we saw some all-defensive play by Scottie Pippen right there to take away the drive of a very tough slasher in Michael Finley. Very quick to the basket. Scottie Pippen cut him off.
And Michael Jordan, 3 of 5 from the field. He has 6 points. Bulls lead by 2. Pippen able to break it up. Scottie Pippen very familiar with Michael Finley. I mentioned Finley, a native of Chicago, attended Proviso East High School in Melrose Park. In fact, honed his game in summer workouts with Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan while he was at Wisconsin. Barkley not able to hit the reverse. Kept alive. The save by Rodman, but he was out of bounds.
Nice work that time by A.C. Green to pressure on the boards and force that turnover by the Chicago Bulls to get another possession for Phoenix.
Timeout taken, 3:04 to go in this first quarter. The Bulls lead by 2.
Well, after getting behind by 7 points early, the Phoenix Suns have been able to get back into this game by at least controlling the tempo. They're not getting very many easy baskets with the exception of the one breakaway for Michael Finley, but to stay in close, fine, but they've got to get Charles Barkley involved offensively.
And a 5-second inbounding violation. Suns could not get it in play, so the Bulls will take over. Bulls with the edge off the boards. 9-4 here in the early going. Rodman with 4 rebounds. Longley over Green. Rodman with rebound number 5. And shooting for 3 points.
He's been looking for that shot more and more.
Person all the way. Harper stepped away. Ron Harper did not want to pick up a 3rd foul. And the game is tied at 17.
And the Suns have to be very happy with the pace of this game. Now they're starting to get some running opportunities. They look like they have the Bulls out of sync offensively, and they do, mainly because Luke Longley is winding up with the ball in unfamiliar positions.
Rodman trying to get it back, could not. And here is Person rejected by Harper. And the crowd reacting to the block of Harper. Rodman says he's all right. He landed on his hand and he waved at Phil Jackson indicating that he's okay, but we will see a substitution. Jason Caffey, a rookie from Alabama who's been playing very well, will come on for Dennis Rodman. Here's another look at it.
Well, the deflection by Michael Finley started it, and then all the diving for the ball. And I think when Kevin Johnson joked over the head and back of Rodman, that's when he forced his hand and jammed it on the floor.
And the foul called on Caffey. So they're checking over the hand of Dennis Rodman. Charles Barkley with 2 shots.
Well, right away, the Suns going inside to Charles against the rookie Jason Caffey. Charles, in that freewheeling style that the Suns had for the last 3 years, used to do a lot more ball handling on the perimeter, taking a lot more 3-point shots since Cotton has taken over. In fact, Cotton has told his team, we'll take the 3 when it's there if Wesley Person has a good look at it. Other than that, we just don't want to be taking indiscriminate 3-point shots all over the place.
Suns with a 19-17 lead. Coming up on 2 minutes remaining in this first quarter. Light pressure being shown by Phoenix.
2 minutes to play in the first quarter.
Jordan to the fadeaway. We're seeing that fadeaway more and more these days. He's tied the game at 19. Michael has 8 points. And at 45 to go in this opening quarter. It's Caffey guarding Barkley. Finley tried to slash his way and he lost it. Michael Finley had an outstanding game the other night against the Bucks. 16 points, 8 assists. Seemed to bother Glenn Robinson. Barkley able to handle that rebound. And here's Person. Rebounded by Longley. Jordan was looking to run, snaps it over to Harper.
Good job by the Suns getting back in transition defense, which is something that you really have to respect the Bulls' ability to run. And if you're going to take long perimeter jump shots, it's going to result in long rebounds. You got to make sure that you get back. And the other thing is you got to take care of the basketball because they will strike quickly.
And Dennis Rodman back on the floor. Let's check in with Dan Hicks.
All right, Marv, Dennis Rodman dislocated the pinky finger on his right hand. He just taped it up, and as you see, he's back on the court. Marv.
Thank you, Dan. So Dennis trying to show Phil Jackson he does not want to sit down for any length of time. Rodman back, replacing Caffey. Johnson's pass broken up and handled by Harper. The game is tied at 19. Jordan with the step. The tip missed by Pippen, and Barkley rebounds. 35 seconds left in this first quarter. The Bulls and the Suns meeting for the first time this season. They'll play again in the Valley of the Sun on February the 6th. And it's an offensive foul. Rodman drawing the charge. Michael Finley committing his second.
Well, the book on the rookie Michael Finley is give him the outside shot and take away his drive, as Dennis Rodman did a good job of moving his feet. However, I thought he was moving too much when he took the contact, but being the veteran that he is and having the reputation that he has defensively, he was able to get the call against the rookie Finley.
Tony Kukoc and Steve Kerr now check in with 25 seconds to go in this first quarter.
Interesting matchup down on the baseline for this last possession. Charles Barkley watching Steve Kerr. You're not going to see that too often.
Down to 10. Kukoc off the dribble. He got the step on Green, and he pushed him. So AC with his second foul.
AC Green is second. The team's first in the last 2 minutes.
Now the Suns do not have any fouls to give. The next one would put them over the limit.
Chris Carr in the lineup for the Suns.
And AC Green sitting down. Chris Carr, rookie from Southern Illinois, coming on for the first time. AC 3 of 3 from the field, 6 points. Final seconds of the quarter. Pippen. Scottie Pippen with the buzzer basket, getting the friendly roll to end this opening quarter in Chicago. The Bulls leading 21-19.
A nice look by Steve Kerr as he had it all away with Scottie Pippen ducking inside on Finley and getting the friendly bounce here in Chicago.
So it's the Bulls by 2. We'll be back in a moment. Well, Chicago led most of the way in the first quarter. The Suns had a brief 2-point lead, and the Bulls are up by 2. Phoenix only 6 of 17 from the field, and Chicago 9 of 23, led by Michael Jordan, 4 of 8 for 8 points. Michael will get a brief rest, and Phoenix comes out of the backcourt to get the second quarter underway.
Well, neither team getting out in the open floor that you would expect for their ability, and Cotton Fitzsimmons not afraid to play a game in the 105, 110 area.
And Kevin Johnson going right at Steve Kerr. So Kerr called for the foul, and Johnson will go to the line. A reminder, coming up at halftime, Hannah Storm back at our New York studio. We'll check in also with Greg Gumbel, setting up in Tempe, Arizona for our Super Bowl telecast, and Matt, a special edition of the Wild and the Wacky, the Albert Achievement Awards from this 1995 NFL season.
Cannot wait.
All coming at halftime. Game is tied at 21.
Talking with Tony Kukoc before the game, saying yes, he would like to get more playing time. He realizes that he is the sixth man in a very important role for him as we move. Nice pass.
Beautiful backdoor pass. Rodman for Hopper, and the Bulls lead 23-21.
It's just a simple, basic play out of the triangle that most teams are prepared for, but when you turn your head, hard cut, nice pass, you'll get an easy hoop.
Wayman Tisdale is on the floor for the first time for the Suns. Carr played by Hopper. Shot clock at 5. Carr firing and goes off glass. And could not hide the smile as he got a look from Hopper. Now a technical foul being indicated. Looks like Cotton Fitzsimmons hit with the tee.
And Cotton continues to jaw a little bit with the referee Louis Grillo. Normally Cotton would not get hit with a quick, hard technical like that. He's a little smoother than that with the officials as far as massaging them, and I can't imagine that he said anything of a untoward nature.
Oh, no. One-time Phoenix Sun Steve Kerr not able to hit the technical foul shot. Steve Kerr was originally a second-round pick of the Suns back in 1988. Moved on to Cleveland, then Orlando, before catching on with the Bulls, and this is third season with Chicago.
I was starting to say, Tony Kukoc, this is what he likes, to have the ball in his hands, and he likes to do that.
But Rodman not able to hit and upset with himself.
Well, maybe that hand bothered that shot there. Normally he would be able to dunk it, but Dennis can dunk the ball with his left hand on the move like that, and that's probably the better play.
Hopper with the interception. So Kerr and Hopper in the backcourt. Rodman, Kukoc, and Pippen up front. Barkley able to rebound. That is his 7th rebound.
Charles doing an outstanding job. He and A.C. Green are the guys that have to carry the load on the boards.
Raymond Tisdale rebounded by Scottie Pippen. Pippen from Kukoc. And that was thrown off the mark by Scottie. Elliot Perry. And a reach-in from behind called on Hopper. That is his 3rd foul.
Normally Dennis Rodman able to finish plays like this. Just kind of squeeze that out with the first 3 fingers of his right hand with that dislocation. Go quickly on the quick jump for the tip in. At least he got a rebound on the play. He'll be happy about that.
Bulls and the Suns tied at 23. 2 minutes gone by in the 2nd quarter. Tisdale. Raymond Tisdale in his 11th NBA season out of Oklahoma. He's been bothered by a bruised shoulder as of late. Kukoc for Kerr from downtown. And the ball will go back to Phoenix, but first a timeout taken. 9:46 to go. First half, the Suns have a 2-point lead.
Triangle offense. Dennis Rodman in the post. You'll see the triangle. Anytime the ball goes in the post, baseline man cuts hard to the basket. Perfect execution by the Chicago Bulls as the defensive man turns his head. Nice feed and bounce pass by Dennis Rodman.
Suns with a 25-23 lead. We are early in the 2nd quarter. Michael Jordan back on the floor. Scottie Pippen sitting down with 9 points. And Kevin Johnson is back. Johnson handling against Kerr.
Nice little adjustment there by Cotton Fitzsimmons. Elliot Perry getting his normal rotation of playing time, but with Steve Kerr in there, I think you want to get Kevin Johnson back in the game, see if he can't take advantage of it.
Finley. Nice pass from Raymond Tisdale. And the Suns now playing well, lead by 4.
And the Bulls look confused defensively, and Tony Kukoc falling asleep in the lane there. That is something that will cost him some playing time if he is not alert at the defensive end of the floor.
Kerr from downtown. So Steve Kerr among the leaders in 3-point field goal percentage. Brings the Bulls within 1. And the foul is called a hold on the rookie Caffey. Now Elliot Perry checking back in.
Eerily quiet here in the United Center. Nothing at all like the old Chicago Stadium. So if you're the visiting team, you're happy that the building is not involved in the game. You're happy that you're in this position leading by 1 point, because to beat the Bulls on their home floor the way they are playing, you just have to hang around and make big plays at crunch time.
That has been the case from time to time. In fact, Phil Jackson complaining about that last season. Nice move by Tisdale, and the Suns now lead 29-26. Good hands by Perry to break up that pass attempt, and Kerr, in trying to save it, stepped out of bounds. So the ball back to the Suns. Suns have outscored the Bulls 10-5 in the 2nd quarter. Chicago Bulls here at home are 21-0. They've won the last 28. That dates back to last season. They won their final 7 last year. Kevin Johnson. And rebounded by Kukoc. Kukoc for 3.
And Phil Jackson barks from the bench at Tony. Once again, Michael Jordan wanted the ball on that medium post side on the right, and a poor shot, poor decision by Tony Kukoc. He'll hear it from Phil, and he'll hear it from Michael Jordan.
Here's the double on Barkley, and again he finds the cutter, but Finley lost the grip. Barkley with the recovery.
Oh, Charles is really doing a good job of just timing it perfectly when the double team comes, giving the ball open to get at least good looks for the Suns and good shots. They just don't have very good shooters from the perimeter. on the floor right now.
Suns up 31-26. Kerr on a quick release to bury the three. So the Suns lead by 2. Perry spinning his way on Kerr to draw the foul. Elliott Perry putting on the moves, and Steve Kerr collects his second. Substitution AC Green being waved in by Joey Crawford. And that was called a non-shooting foul, so the Suns will throw in.
All kinds of confusion over there on the Suns bench area as to try to figure out who's going in, who's coming out. Looked like Charles Barkley did not want to come out of the game at that point.
Finley got the step, and that gets the Suns bench up in enthusiastic fashion. Michael Finley with the explosion. Suns lead by 4. 6 points for Finley, and the steal by Perry. Elliott Perry extending the Phoenix lead to 35-29.
And Phil Jackson just sitting on the bench watching right now. No way could he be pleased with what's going on the floor, but he's going to let his team out on the floor try to figure out what's been going wrong and make the corrections themselves.
Shot clock at 5. Kerr. Well, Steve Kerr from 2-point range, and he's come off the bench to hit 8 points. 35-31 Phoenix.
Well, sometimes an offensive play like that will get you going. Nice move by Kukoc to create a shot for Kerr, but Bulls lethargic at both ends for the most part.
And here comes Jordan. Pulls up to take the 3. Michael with his first attempt from downtown. Perry and Johnson now in the backcourt with Finley, Green, and Tisdale up front. Tisdale, and he has been providing a lift. That's his 3rd field goal for 6 points.
Well, Wayman, always a tough customer in the low post, and anytime the Suns have to play a half-court game and he's on the floor, he'll turn something up for you.
Timeout is taken by the Bulls. They are down by 6. Although Charles Barkley not looking for his shots thus far today. He's played well, though. 7 rebounds, passing the ball well. And Charles has done a nice job since coming back from the injury. But Michael Jordan feels that Charles could have been in better shape when this season began. We talked about it with Michael.
Charles, I think, is learning how to utilize his other players a little bit more than just himself, and I think he was really mistaken when he didn't get himself in the type of shape that he wanted to this summer. We talked about it quite a bit when I was working out, and he called me a couple of weeks later once he started training camp and said I made a mistake. So I think he's trying to get himself into playing shape, and I think he's starting to do that, and it's starting to show in his play.
Well, Charles Barkley coming off a torn cartilage late in that Houston series last year. Had to try to do some rehabbing, but it seems every summer has been a rehab summer for Charles Barkley.
And Phil Jackson shaking things up. He has Judd Bushler out on the floor. Bushler was fouled by Tisdale on that rebound scrap. Here comes Barkley reporting back. Luke Longley is back on the floor, so it is Longley, Bushler, and Pippen up front with Jordan and Kerr in the backcourt. Steve Kerr has had the hot hand. 8 of the Bulls' 10 points in this second quarter.
Well, Phil Jackson's not afraid to go deep into his bench at any point in the game as long as he has people like Pippen, Jordan, and Kukoc who can create things for other people here. Judd Bushler always has to be ready for playing time in the early part of the game, as all of the Bulls do, because Phil will call on you at any time.
A couple of products of Arizona, Judd Bushler and Steve Kerr, stars at Arizona. On the floor now for the Chicago Bulls, and here is Bushler for 3. The Suns 37 and the Bulls 35. Just under 5 minutes remaining in this first half. Marv Albert, Matt Kukoc, and Dan Hicks from the United Center in Chicago. Barkley putting the move on Pippen and fouled. He was hacked by Scotty.
Well, tough, aggressive move by Charles Barkley with Pippen on his back at excellent position. Normally, it's been the small forward who was supposed to come down and double team Charles. Buechler fell asleep there, and Charles was able to find that seam. He wrapped that shoulder right into the chest of Pippen to knock him off balance. Nothing Scotty could do but hack.
Charles Barkley had been out with an infected toe. The Suns went 1 up, 6 down with Charles sidelined, but he's come back strong, averaging 21 points, 15 rebounds since the return. Good one Friday night in Milwaukee.
That is kicking shoe for field goals.
He's ready, yes.
Steel plate.
That is protecting the infected toe. The Suns 38 and the Bulls 35. Chicago Bulls at 37-3, best record in the NBA, and the 37-3 start ties the 71-72 Lakers and the 66-67 76ers for the best 40-game record in NBA history. Kevin Johnson called for the foul. Pat Riley the other day said he can see the Bulls winning 75. Was Pat trying to create some trouble?
You bet. Put as much pressure on them as possible. Actually, the Bulls have the difficult road trip coming up. And even if they go 4-2 on that road trip, they're still in good shape at the All-Star break. Since Jed Buechler has come into the ballgame, at least at the offensive end, they're in a little bit quicker movement, sharper passing, which is what the Bulls need. And on that last post play for Michael Jordan, he had tight position on Kevin Johnson, which he can pretty much get anytime he wants.
And Hot Rod Williams making his first appearance in 3 weeks. He's been bothered by a nerve irritation in his right leg. Cotton Fitzsimmons telling us that he plays some here today. Michael Jordan nearly came away with the strip. Hot Rod is wearing a brace. Looks big and bulky, but he says it's actually light, the brace on the right leg.
He has no idea how many minutes he's going to be able to play. However, he knows he's woefully out of shape because he hasn't been able to do anything but ride a bike.
Shot clock at 5, and Williams took the shot. Here comes Pippen. Suns able to get back. And Longley fouled by Williams. Luke Longley establishing position. Took the hit from behind.
Well, John Hot Rod Williams a little slow reacting defensively, not cutting off that move by Longley, who did a nice job of covering up. Good feed inside.
Longley going to the hook shot, rebounded by Williams. Here is Barkley setting up Person, and again the Bulls not getting back.
Oh, that was just an outstanding execution on the part of the Phoenix Suns. The ball never touching the floor. Even the best transition defense in the world couldn't have stopped that play.
So the Suns lead by 4. Longley, well, presented with the open shot. That's his second field goal. Luke Longley's had some very strong games recently. Had a big one against Patrick Ewing and the New York Knicks earlier this week at Madison Square Garden. Here's Hot Rod Williams. Rebound, Charles Barkley.
Well, Hot Rod's not wasting any time at the offensive end. He has put up a couple of bad shots in there, but Charles Barkley likes to hover around that offensive glass. You don't get a body on Charles, he'll punish you inside.
Longley, beautiful look-away pass by Jordan.
Hot Rod Williams hurting them at the offensive end and now hurting them at the defensive end as well. And Cotton Fitzsimmons wants to talk it over as soon as they get the ball into the front court. Here's that pass again as John Hot Rod Williams all turned around, had no idea where Luke Longley was.
The game is tied at 40. Timeout taken. You're watching the NBA on NBC. Correction on the score, the scoreboard wrong a moment ago. It is Phoenix 42 and Chicago 40.
And the Phoenix Suns out fast breaking the Chicago Bulls so far in this first half as Charles Barkley making the nice feed in there. And then the first offensive rebound in this half for the Phoenix Suns as Charles Barkley cleans up.
We're just under 3 minutes to go in the First half, here's Person on the scoop. And back comes Jordan. He has Kukoc, Pippen, Longley, and Rodman on the floor. Jordan called for a travel and does not like the call.
He doesn't like it. I think it was a good call by referee Louis Grillo, and I haven't said that too many times in my life from that slot in there. As it looked like Michael loses his footing just a little bit there, and he did. That was clearly 2 walks.
Little shuffle as he tried to put the brakes on. Good call by Louis Grillo. Finley setting up Hot Rod Williams, rejected by Dennis Rodman. And then the foul.
There you can see the frustration all over Hot Rod Williams. Had not had a lot of playing time. Beautiful feed as it looked like Michael Finley was out of control. And you're not going to see Dennis Rodman block too many shots. That is not the strong suit of his game. That's his 7th of the year.
Foul was committed by Longley. Hot Rod Williams, who came from the Cleveland Cavaliers in the deal for the very popular Dan Marley. For Hot Rod, it is his 26th game of the season. 71% free throw shooter. So the Suns lead by 4 with 2:15 left in the half.
You see how the Bulls really spread it out offensively, and that puts a lot of pressure on your defense when you have so much floor space to cover and against quick people like Pippen and Jordan.
Pippen trying to make the adjustment, and Jordan with the tip. Michael Jordan going glass with that tip, and the Suns now lead 44-42. Finley realizing he was not guarded but could not hit. And another offensive rebound, and Barkley with the open shot. Rodman did not come out on Barkley.
Well, he thought that Luke Longley had him, and Luke was calling for help. Consequently, nobody really came out. Dennis Rodman does not like to stray too far away from the basket to play defense.
That pass intended for Longley. And here's Person ahead of the field. Once again, the Suns with a transition basket.
And that was poor transition defense on the part of the Bulls, despite the good pass and the streak by Wesley Person.
The Suns by 6. We come up on 1 minute left in the first half. Leg block call, they get a new 24.
Well, Wesley Person playing with a great deal of confidence. He struggled early in the year, but Cotton Fitzsimmons, when he took over, said, you are going to be my shooting guard. I want you to shoot the ball, but you have to do the other things. Defense, driving to the ball, the basket, running the break to stay on the floor.
Longley had it slapped away. Good play by Person. Johnson racing down, feeding Finley. Oh, what a move by Michael Finley, and the Suns lead by 8. The Bulls have trailed at the half in only 9 of their 21 games here at the United Center this season. They're down 50-42. Jordan, rebound Rodman. And here's Jordan drawing the foul. Yes, and it counts.
Now, Michael doing a lot of work on this play, but actually everything's set up by the hustle rebound of Dennis Rodman and not forcing anything inside, making the extra pass to give Michael Jordan an opportunity for a three-point play. Here's that little shovel to Michael Jordan, taking a little bit of a bump, and the fade away from Barkley and a little touch foul.
So Charles Barkley called for his first. Correction on what I mentioned a moment ago. The Bulls have trailed at the half in only 9 games all season. Reach-in foul is called. So in their 40 games, they have trailed at the half only 9 times. That's the first committed by Jordan. Bulls over the limit. And Kevin Johnson to the free throw line.
Kevin's numbers not all that sparkling in this first half, just 1 for 5 from the field and only 3 assists, but he has done a masterful job of controlling the ball, making the plays, making good decisions as when to run the fast break, when to pull it back and run half-court offense, and consequently that's why the Suns not only in the game but holding a lead.
Longley sits down. Kukoc is back. Green will come on for Williams.
We got 118.
So Hot Rod getting a few moments here in the second quarter. Michael and Charles exchanging a knee slapper.
It was golf related.
30 seconds remaining in the half. And the Suns up by 7. Kukoc working hard for possession. And he drew the foul. Took the hip check from AC Green.
Personal foul, AC Green.
AC committing his third, and Tony Kukoc will shoot 2 with 14.5 seconds remaining first half. Chicago Bulls with only 3 losses this season at Indiana, at Seattle, at Orlando, all 3 on the road. The last time they have been beaten December 26th in Indiana, 103-97. Randy Brown coming on for these final seconds of the first half.
Randy Brown, known as a defensive specialist, will have the task of trying to keep Kevin Johnson in front of him.
Final seconds of the half, and it is Brown with the steal. Rodman gave it right back and deflected out. The officials checking with each other. 1 6/10 seconds to go. In the half, it'll be Phoenix ball. And the Suns will take a 20-second timeout.
Well, the ball is going to be all the way back about 3/4 court. Anytime you have a Charles Barkley on your team, you like to get it to him any place he finds. He's almost like a tight end. Will run down the field maybe 10-15 yards, make a button hook, get the ball to him, and Charles is either going to take a 3-point shot or try to jump into somebody for a foul.
What an excellent analogy on this Super Sunday night. So only 1 6/10 seconds to go in the first half. The Suns lead by 5, and Wes Person will throw in.
And Charles Barkley situated right at the top of the key.
Rodman all over him. Instead, the pass to Finley, and he tried to get it to Barkley. Not enough time, and Charles asks Finley, why didn't you take the shot, or something to that effect. So Charles Barkley with 9.7 of the second quarter. Michael Jordan with 14 points, and at the half, it's the Suns by 5. We'll be back with Hannah and the Prudential halftime report right after these words. Back at the United Center in Chicago, the Phoenix Suns with a 52-47 lead on the Chicago Bulls. Cotton Fitzsimmons in his 7th game since taking over for Paul, and the Suns have gone 3 up and 3 down since he has made his return. I know moments ago Dan chatted with Cotton, who was on his way back to the Phoenix bench. Let's check in with Dan Hicks.
All right, Marv, I just talked to Cotton Fitzsimmons, and it is going to be crucial to his basketball team in the second half to continue to push the ball up. One of the things he wanted to do when he took over the team from Paul Westphal was get back to Suns basketball up and down the court. He wants to see a lot of that in the second half. Marv?
All right, Dan, and one thing that Cotton has put an end to, as he indicated to us yesterday, you rarely see the 3-point shot as a weapon. They took only 2 in the first half, 1 of 2 from downtown.
Well, anytime Wesley Person is open, he has the green light to take it. Other than that, they'll try to stay away from it.
And Person was open right there. Harper with the rebound. Harper playing with 3 fouls as this third quarter gets underway. Longley had it knocked away. And a foul is called off the scramble. Scottie Pippen called for his second.
And coming out of there, you can see Scottie Pippen a little bit disturbed with Luke Longley, who made the proper cut, but as he caught the ball, he just pulled it down a little bit to about waist level, and that enabled Kevin Johnson to knock it loose. Big man's got to keep the ball up high and finish strong.
Now Barkley posting up on Rodman. Pippen comes over on the double. Shot clock at 4. 3-second violation.
On Michael Finley, after he had a little trouble handling that ball from Charles Barkley, never got out of the lane. He thought he stepped out of bounds, which still, even if you are out of bounds underneath the basket, that is still considered a 3-second count while you're there.
Barkley, Rodman, Pippen up front, Jordan and Harper at the guards. Michael Jordan opening up the third quarter. He now has 16 points. He's 7 of 14 from the field. And the Bulls trail by 3. Johnson drawing the double team. Putting the move on Longley and foul. Michael Jordan came over. Got a look here from Charles.
Well, Michael knows he has his hands full at the defensive end against Kevin Johnson, as Michael grabbing the back of his leg there, as he may have strained something. But so he wants to make Kevin Johnson work as much as possible at the other end of the floor, take a little steam out of him. Charles Barkley had a one-on-one situation against Luke Longley, who was in a heap of trouble, calling for all kinds of help, and then some hard contact there between Michael and Charles.
Second foul committed by Jordan. So the Suns now lead 53-49.
Charles Barkley not really getting much involved offensively, as the ball has been kept moving, kept under control by Kevin Johnson.
Dennis Rodman with 8 rebounds, leads the NBA, averaging better than 14. Jordan, that has become his favorite shot, the fadeaway. And the Suns now lead by 2, 18 for Jordan. And deflected by Jordan. And we're seeing here in the third quarter, the Bulls going to more of the trap, more of the double team.
Michael Jordan again on that fadeaway, taking a hard plant and step away. Late in the game, in close games, Michael will a 5-second violation. Michael will be more physical and more aggressive, taking the ball to the basket and taking it to the defender to get to the free throw line. But in the general course of the game, Michael is very content to take perimeter jump shots.
Longley sent the screen. Here's Jordan with a rare drive. And he's tied the game at 53.
That all-side pick, and just no way the Suns defense could make the adjustment to shut off Jordan.
Nice fake by Barkley, but rejected by Longley.
Screen roll, the most difficult play to defend. Luke Longley setting it on Kevin Johnson. Everybody waving and matadoring it as Michael Jordan getting inside. Nobody to stop it in there. With a small front line, only Charles Barkley protecting the basket. Couldn't do anything about it.
Barkley. And Harper able to come away with it. Pippen for 3. Longley keeps it alive. An offensive rebound once again for the Bulls.
Not the greatest shot in the world. I guess when you're Scottie Pippen, however, you can get on that 1-on-4 3-point attempt and then get a second opportunity.
Well, as Pippen caught the ball, he was out of bounds. Stepped on the end line, so Phoenix will get it back.
The Bulls really showing some frustration on their faces with the way that they're playing right now, particularly at the offensive end when they start to move the basketball. It's just not sharp.
Finley line drives it home. He has 10 points. Michael Finley, first-round draft pick out of Wisconsin. Wisconsin's all-time leading scorer, although did not down in the draft. And Jordan to the line.
And because he did not shoot the ball well from the perimeter, had a low field goal percentage, it did drop him down to 21. As Michael Jordan now not only doing it with the basketball, doing it without, as he made that hard cut to the basket to finish up on the 21st pick that the Suns used to take Finley was the one that the Suns acquired from the Los Angeles Lakers when they traded Cedric Ceballos, an all-star caliber player.
Finley had 3 very impressive seasons at Wisconsin. And as we mentioned earlier, very excited about playing back here in his hometown. Illegal defense, the call against the Bulls.
It was on Luke Longley, who dropped way down below the free throw line. The man he is supposed to be watching was way up above the top of the key, and that's the illegal defense. Actually, the Bulls fell asleep on that situation. Michael Finley was all alone at the other end of the basket. Nobody knew he was there. Still not able to convert on the play, however.
stepping out for the steal. The game is tied at 55. Jordan gives it back. Shot clock down to 7. Pippen for 3. Air ball.
But terrific defense by the rookie Michael Finley against a tough customer in Scottie Pippen. Pippen really didn't want to put the ball on the floor and try to go by, as Finley just kept jockeying with him and kind of forced him and begged him to take that poor shot.
Kevin Johnson off the dribble and then played very tight by Jordan, who did not like the foul call. That is his 3rd.
And Michael getting right up into the face of the official there, saying he did not foul him on the shot. He avoided contact. And actually, when Michael started to take off at the other end, to the other end of the floor, that's when the contact happened. But Michael felt he did not foul him on the shot, which he did not, despite Kevin Johnson falling backwards. The contact came well afterward.
The Suns now lead by 1. Kevin Johnson missed 20 games with a strained left groin. A little fake there by Kevin.
And it threw him off, as he probably should have backed off there. It's almost like, Marv, you know this, when you line up to putt on those greens, yes. When you're not ready, you back off. You have to go through your routine again.
I've had that problem on many an occasion. The steal by Finley. Harper draws the foul. It's a charge on Finley.
Well, no question, Ron Harper had the position there, as Michael Finley unable to pull up, but Finley's going to complain that Ron Harper's sticking that right leg out. That was a good call. I think he had position.
And that's 4 on Finley. Scottie Pippen has been very quiet, only 2 points since the game's first 5 minutes. 3 of 10 overall from the field. Longley. And he's called for the offensive foul, making contact with Green. Now Finley will sit down. And Chris Carr, the 6'5" rookie from Southern Illinois, 2nd-round draft pick, played briefly in the first half. Checks in here.
I think you got to give a lot of credit to the Phoenix Suns defense, something they are not normally known for. They're a very small team right now, but playing very smart defense.
Suns lead by 1. Person with that quick release. And the Suns are up 58-55. Person has 13. 5 minutes gone by, 3rd quarter. And the call against the Bulls. Illegal pick. Called on Harper. That's his 4th, and a timeout is taken. .6:56 remaining, 3rd quarter here in Chicago. The Suns with a 58-55 lead on the Bulls. Of course, coming up next, NBC Sports presenting Super Bowl 30 from Sun Devil Stadium in Tempe, Arizona. Coverage beginning with the NFL on NBC. That'll follow Phoenix and Chicago. Illegal defense, the call. And that is the 2nd violation, so a technical foul awarded to the Suns, and Kevin Johnson to the line.
Well, since Cotton Fitzsimmons took over the coaching reins for Paul Westphal, the Suns have put in a number of plays, maybe just 3 or 4, all of them the same plays that the Utah Jazz run, who probably stole them from the Phoenix Suns a few years ago when Tom Chambers went there, because Tom Chambers, with a lot of 2-man game play with Kevin Johnson, and Barkley with his post-up ability, does a lot of the same things that Karl Malone does. So teams will steal from one another.
Now Barkley posting Rodman, finding Carr. Rebounded by Rodman. Here's Pippen ahead of the field. It counts, and the foul. Kevin Johnson lunging for Scottie Pippen, but did not have much effect. Pippen able to hit, and he'll go to the line.
Well, this is what Dennis Rodman does for you. Not only the defensive rebounding, but the ability to start the fast break, breaking out of the back, and that is a perfect pass for Scottie Pippen. He throws it a little bit higher. That enables Kevin Johnson to get back and foul him before the field goal. So great play by Dennis Rodman.
So Scottie Pippen, who has been quiet, comes up with the three-point play. Rodman picks up the foul. Suns by 1. Barkley setting it up against Rodman. Now Pippen over to help. Johnson for 3. A rare three-point attempt. Person lost it, but recovered. Carr able to come up with it. Shot clock is down to 2. The ball did not hit the rim. Kevin Johnson firing it up. Suns get a break. Last touch by the Bulls.
Kevin Johnson does not have three-point range. However, he is 7 for 17 coming into today. A wild shot there. And the Suns actually didn't realize out on the floor that that shot clock was winding down to just the last second.
Kevin Johnson only 1 of 7 from the field. Leg block. And a new 24 awarded Phoenix.
You see how things bog down once Charles starts to yo-yo the ball. Yes, he can draw the double team, but the makeup of the Suns right now, they just do not have a lot of good perimeter shooting. The only perimeter shooter on the floor right now is Wesley Person. However, AC Green will fire once in a while from beyond the arc.
Jordan, anticipating, came up with a steal. Pippen for 3. Rodman with the save. Whoa.
You're right.
I just went down.
And you didn't even get hit. He's back.
Back in action. Harper. I'll be all right, Matt.
All right.
Here's Person. It's a 2-on-1. Pippen all the way. And the Bulls lead 60 to 59.
Well, the Bulls trying to get this crowd involved in the game, either with the three-pointers or the hustle defensive plays. I think they finally got him into it with that fast break play.
Barkley called for steps.
Now Charles is going to get something here, at least a delay of game. He won't throw it to the official. It's going to be a delay of game, or he wanted it, he got it. Better than the technical.
It was Charles's way of annoying the officials. So he's hit with the delay of game. 2 delay of games would mean a technical foul. The Bulls with 13 points in this third quarter. Jordan with the first 8. Pippen the last 5. And they now lead by 1. Pippen with the fake on Person. And the pass deflected, recovered by Jordan. And Joe Crawford says stay right here. Foul assessed on the Suns. It's on AC Green. Now timeout taken by Cotton Fitzsimmons with 4:21 remaining. In the third, you are watching the NBA on NBC. Actually, the Phoenix Suns have made it difficult for the Bulls to be their true super selves on Super Sunday. Bulls have taken a 1-point lead, showing some signs here in the third quarter. Luke Longley going glass, set up by Michael Jordan. And the Bulls lead by 3 as we come up on 4 minutes left in the third.
Kevin Johnson, who would tell you, at 1 for 7 at this point, only 5 assists, but still playing a tremendous floor game despite controlling the tempo, keeping his team in the game.
Chris Carr. And Chris Carr able to connect with his second field goal to cut it to a 1-point Chicago lead. Harper misjudged and hit the rim on that drive. Here's Person off the break, rejected by Harper. The hustle by Harper coming back after missing on that baseline drive.
And that's what he's been doing for this Chicago Bull team for the last couple of months. And once again, the crowd now starting to try to get into it.
And Pippen had the baseline closed by Carr. Foul is called.
Well, AC Green overextends defensively. Probably should have given Harper that jump shot, but that opened up the driving layup. A terrific hustle by Ron Harper, who never stopped running on the play.
Phoenix Suns have led by as many as 8. They are now down by 1. Jordan. And last touch by Green.
Good execution on the screen roll between Michael Jordan and Luke Longley. Michael got an excellent look from about 17 feet, but the hard roll by Longley enabled him to get a good offensive rebounding effort.
Luke Longley at 7'2" going against the 6'9" AC Green. It counts and the foul. 10 points for Longley. Luke, originally a first-round draft pick of Minnesota, 7th pick overall, and in his 3rd season as a member of the Chicago Bulls.
Well, Michael, happy for Luke, who's been working very hard out there. The Bulls are really pleased with his improvement defensively. All they want him to do is clog that lane, fill the lane to keep people from driving, box out, get his share of rebounds. Anything he can give them offensively is a plus.
Bulls lead by 4. Kevin Johnson being pressed by Dennis Rodman. And just does get it across. Hot Rod Williams, who had a run in the second quarter, is back on the floor. Suns only 3 of 13 shooting here in the 3rd. And the pressure defense providing problems. Barkley thought he was fouled, and he does get the call. Pippen all over Barkley. That's number 3 for Scottie Pippen.
You can feel the defensive pressure picking up now by Chicago, really getting after people there, swatting at the ball. Dennis Rodman coming over to double team. Everybody diving for the loose one there, but the foul called as, I don't know if it was Rodman or Pippen, but probably both of them got him. But this is Chicago Bull basketball. Once they start getting frisky defensively, it starts leading to easy baskets for them at the other end.
And both teams are over the foul limit. 11 points for Barkley, 5 of 7 from the field.
Bulls normally like to run something out of a free throw situation. Sometimes Scottie Pippen, if he generates the offense, will look to hit Michael Jordan cut for a lob, but the Suns did a good job of keeping the ball out of Pippen's hand.
2-point Chicago lead with 2:20 to go in the 3rd. And a foul against the Suns.
Well, that's really what they wanted to get after the free throw situation. Is not too many passes. Want to make sure they get it into Jordan on the post and see what happens if he can make a quick move on Kevin Johnson or draw the double team and get a shot for someone else.
Foul on Johnson. Michael Jordan unhappy with his free throw shooting. He's missed a couple here today. 4 of 6 at the line. Michael comes in leading the NBA in scoring at just over 31 a game. 3-point Bulls lead, and Barkley allowed to penetrate.
Oh, just a little hesitation made everybody raise up as Dennis Rodman thought he had help from Luke Longley, who was standing dead straight up and just blew by it. Charles Barkley just blowing by Luke.
We were talking with Charles about all the trade speculation a couple of weeks ago. You get the idea that Charles was hurt by the rumors. Nice move by Pippen. Although you also have the feeling that he may have started a couple of the stories going, but he said to us, well, if I am traded, I'll just do what I did to Philadelphia. I'll come back and kill him, as he put it.
I think he wants to stay in Phoenix.
Barkley firing it up with the left hand and then able to rebound, and they get the new 24.
Talking to Michael Jordan, he said, I'm going to go buy you.
Jordan trying to guard Barkley, and a foul is called. A beautiful fake by Barkley, and a technical foul indicated by Joe Crawford.
Technical foul on Jordan.
Technical foul on Jordan, who's been unhappy with some of the calls today. He was just called for that personal foul right here for his 4th foul of the game.
Well, accepting the challenge and not backing down on Charles, playing him in the post. And I really don't understand why the technical foul. I think maybe at the end of the play that he pushed Charles away more in a playful nature. But the officials, of course, always aware of a possible taunting type of situation, as they were talking previous to that play, but not in a vicious way, I'm sure.
Charles Barkley on the line, shooting the penalty.
Now Barkley to the line. They are very close friends. Talk all the time. And they have continued the conversation here on the court right throughout the game.
But they will compete against one another. Nobody's going to back down from one another. There's a lot of pride out there. And also a lot of respect between them.
Wayman Tisdale replacing Hot Rod Williams. Wayman Tisdale in 7 minutes in the first half with 3 of 4 from the field. 6 points. A very solid performance by Barkley. Not looking to force shots, looking to distribute the ball. He's done it off the boards. 12 rebounds, 16 points in all. Here's Pippen. That one touching off glass from a difficult angle, and the Bulls lead 70-68. Scottie Pippen with 18. Michael Jordan, the high man, with 23. Johnson. Beautiful move, but could not finish it. That was almost a 10-second violation with Pippen and Jordan on the exchange at midcourt. And a foul on Tisdale.
Michael will come out for a breather. He worked very hard in that third quarter at the defensive end the last time, seeing Kevin Johnson just blow by. Michael has had to guard the point guards this year in his role now with Ron Harper and Scottie Pippen starting, and he has had trouble with a number of them. Damon Stoudemire, Gary Payton, Anthony Hardaway have given him some problems in certain parts of the game. He told us today he has a tremendous amount of respect for Kevin Johnson's ability to penetrate, and who doesn't? And nobody can really keep Kevin Johnson from penetrating if you try to pressure him at all.
Steve Kerr and Tony Kukoc back on the floor for the Bulls. Scottie Pippen with 10 of his 19 points in this third quarter. Here's Carr shooting a 3. And a loose ball foul called.
Loose ball foul, Phoenix.
John Tisdale. 28 seconds left in the third. The Bulls lead by 3. Cotton Fitzsimmons in his third go-round as head coach of the Phoenix Suns, 2-time winner of Coach of the Year honors. Jason Caffey, the rookie from Alabama, first-round draft pick, who's played well recently. Has not spent much time at the free throw line, shooting only 48% at the line. So Phoenix with the ball down by 3 as this third quarter winds down. Johnson played by Kerr.
And the help comes from Kukoc to try to get the ball out of the hands of Kevin Johnson. A very difficult matchup for Steve Kerr from the quickness standpoint.
Down to 13 seconds, and now the Suns on that leg block have the full 13. Barkley thought he had the step. Down to 5. Johnson, and again a kick ball.
Oh, the Bulls really scrambling defensively right now, always looking to help Steve Kerr because Kevin Johnson can get by him. So at least the Bulls have put the Suns in a difficult position.
2 7/10 seconds remaining. And this one is from way downtown by Person. So that's the end of the third. Bulls by 3. Charles Barkley with a well-rounded stat line. We'll be back after these messages and a word from your local station. You're watching the NBA on NBC. Back at the United Center, Chicago outscoring Phoenix 24-16 in the third quarter, led by Scottie Pippen with 10 points. Let's check in with Dan Hicks. Dan?
All right, Marv, the word from the Bulls bench is there were too many easy baskets given up by the Chicago Bulls in the first half. They also want to pound it inside more on Phoenix. And you see Michael Jordan on the bench. They're going to rest him for just a couple more minutes for the stretch run. As far as Phoenix goes, Cotton Fitzsimmons said a couple of minutes ago, I'm tired of you guys walking it up court. Let's push the tempo. Marv?
Thank you, Dan. Pippen with the shot clock running down draws the foul. Wesley Person committing his first.
Both teams very small to start the fourth period. Phil Jackson looking for some energy, which is what he got from Judd Bushler in the first half. He's out there. And if the Bulls want to punch it inside, it looks like they've got a nice matchup with Tony Kukoc, who can post up just about anybody on the Suns right now.
There's Bushler, Rodman, and Kukoc on the floor with Kerr and Pippen. So after a quiet period, Scottie Pippen has turned things around. He now has 21 points, and the Bulls are up by 5. Fourth quarter is just underway. They double up on Tisdale, and the double team bothering the Suns. Elliott Perry on the recovery. Shot clock at 1. It's a 24-second violation.
And you can see how things bog down, get out of sync when Kevin Johnson not on the floor. Elliott Perry has had to play a lot of minutes over the last couple of years because of all the injuries to Kevin Johnson. But so far, the few minutes that he has gotten in this ballgame at the point guard position have not been productive.
Suns with their 15th turnover. Chicago with 16. And you can see the difference in the intensity defensively by Chicago. They opened up this third quarter by going to the double team frequently.
Chicago with 16 turnovers already. They average just under 15 a game.
Bushler with the open shot. So the Bulls lead 75-68. Elliott Perry, played by Steve Kerr. Wayman Tisdale. Kept alive by Perry. And batted out of bounds by the Bulls. Michael Finley will come on now for Chris Carr.
Well, the Suns like to use Tisdale in a post position, especially with Kukoc guarding him, but the Bulls are ready to come down and double team as soon as Tisdale catches.
And that pass broken up. Pippen leading Bushler and tipped away. It'll be Chicago possession.
See, I think you got to go inside to Tony Kukoc, who's 6'11", being guarded by just an average defender in Wayman Tisdale, especially since at the other end of the floor, they're going to Tisdale against Kukoc. You got to make him pay at the other end of the floor.
Bushler snapping it into Kukoc. And the Bulls have taken command, leading to a Phoenix timeout. 10:24 remaining. In the fourth quarter, the Bulls are up now 77-68. Looking ahead on the Chicago Bulls schedule, Tuesday night they'll begin a 6-game road trip in Houston. Now that should be the barometer as to whether they can win 70 games. A trip that continues at Sacramento, at the Lakers, perhaps going up against Magic Johnson, at Denver, at Phoenix, and at Golden State. The double on Barkley.
And the Bulls not wasting any time. They don't want to let Charles get anything going. The Bulls are taking control of this game. Great play by Charles, and he talks about it afterward.
Barkley with 18 points. Bulls now lead 77-70. Barkley now talking to the officials back on the defensive end. Pippen. It comes to Kukoc, run into by Perry. And a timeout call with 9:44 left in the fourth.
Miller, where great taste runs in the family, brings you Miller Moments.
Well, today's better moment, an overtime thriller that took place between the Suns and Bulls back in the '93 NBA Finals. Check out the play by Scottie Pippen, bouncing the ball of Danny Ainge back. The key, a fourth quarter comeback and forced the overtime. In the first OT, Suns had a chance to win, but Ainge missed the three-pointer at the buzzer. And then in double overtime, the Bulls had the lead when Dan Marley's jumper tied the game yet again. Finally, on to a third overtime, and Marley able to seal it, winning it for the Suns with his NBA Finals record-tying sixth three-pointer. In recognition of that moment, Miller Brewing Company will donate $1,000 to the Thurgood Marshall Scholarship Fund. Bulls 77 and the Suns 70. 2.5 gone by in the fourth quarter. Shot clock at 8. Bushler rebounded by Barkley, and he took the hit from Rodman, who was holding his right wrist.
He dislocated a finger on his right hand in the first half. That time he jammed the wrist. Charles told us yesterday he likes to be as physical as possible with Dennis Rodman, because of course Dennis Rodman likes to bang you as much as he can. So Charles lets them know about it.
Michael Jordan back on the floor. Here's another look at it.
Well, Dennis reaching in there to look to deflect or knock the ball loose, but Charles with extremely strong hands. They're not all that big, but very strong.
Tisdale and Barkley lunging for the rebound. Sets up for the three. Cotton Fitzsimmons staying with a combination of Perry and Johnson. Elliott Perry with Finley running the floor. Kevin Johnson to the left hand. Thought he was fouled. Kevin Johnson is now 1 for 9 from the field.
He didn't even try to make that shot. He just tried to jump into the chest of Bushler and draw the foul. And that's the way the official read it, that he didn't even make an attempt to shoot it. Just tried to draw a foul, didn't get away with it.
Rodman rejected by Finley. Tisdale. And a loose ball foul is called on the Suns.
Well, Dennis Rodman not involved offensively as trying to score, but this time when you get the ball in that kind of position, although it took Dennis so long to gather himself and get that shot up, and that's why the defender able to come in there and knock that shot away.
Foul called on Tisdale, his fourth. Dennis Rodman with 15 rebounds, but has not scored. Kukoc, Rodman, and a loose ball foul the other way. It is on Rodman. That is his fourth.
Well, Dennis just keeps working and working on the glass, anticipating when the shots are going to get up, getting the inside position. He's getting his hands on a lot of balls, but just not able to get it up cleanly and put something back, or even just hold the ball for that matter. So maybe his hands aren't bothering him. He's holding them right now.
Elliott Perry looking down low for Charles Barkley. Finley, yes. Michael Finley with a very impressive showing. 6 of 7 from the field. He has 12 points. Bulls lead 77-72. Kukoc from deep in the corner hits the three. Tony Kukoc. 7 points for Kukoc. Bulls up by 8.
Now Tony Kukoc now being guarded by John Hot Rod Williams, who really doesn't have the mobility to go out, and a guy like Kukoc who has that ability to drive the ball to the basket, so he had to give him the shot.
Finley again. 7 of 8 for the rookie from Wisconsin. What a terrific all-around athlete, Michael Finley.
He is a slasher, has the ability to put the ball on the floor, get into the lane, and jump over people with a good touch.
6-point Bulls lead. Down to 6.5 remaining in this fourth quarter, of a foul from behind called on Barkley. Timeout taken. You're watching the NBA on NBC. Welcome back to the United Center in Chicago. Capacity crowd better than 21,000 on hand. The 408th consecutive sellout. That goes back to the days at Chicago Stadium. Marv Albert, Matt Dukas, and Dan Hicks with 6.5 remaining in this fourth quarter, and the Bulls up by 6. Timeout situation. Phoenix 4 remaining. Chicago 3 and a 20.
And 4 team fouls on the Phoenix Suns, so all the fouls hereafter will send the Bulls to the free throw line, which will be important.
Michael Jordan was left all alone. He had Hot Rod Williams on his hip, but no one else in sight. Easy bucket for Jordan. He has 25 points. 82-74 Bulls. Barkley. And Charles has 20. And the official, Louis Grillo, walking over to the scorer's table in a conversation with Barkley.
I think Charles is bleeding from his left elbow area. He has to go to the bench and get some attention, get it bandaged, or get a wristband on it to cover it up.
Apparently took a scratch swipe by Steve Kerr right there. Caught a piece of the right arm. Charles will sit out briefly. Bulls 82 and the Suns 76. Double foul, the call right here.
We have a double foul.
AC Green is called for the Phoenix foul. That's his 6th. And Dennis Rodman picks up number 5. So AC Green is fouled out. A very low-key day for AC. 6 points, 3 rebounds.
So this puts Hot Rod back into the ballgame in a crucial situation right now, and his conditioning is not the best, and he didn't really expect to play this much today.
He's played 8 minutes to this point. Michael Jordan with a beautiful turnaround. Going to the fade. He has 27 on 11 of 20 from the field. Bulls lead 84-76. Kevin Johnson way off. 1 for 10 for Kevin Johnson. Jordan, yes.
Michael feeling it right now, trying to put the daggers in right here on the Suns as he smells blood.
5:24 remaining in the fourth. The Suns will talk it over. Well, every home game, Dennis Rodman tosses his jersey to someone in the crowd. Now, Matt, he's receiving formal requests. 1 spot for jersey. No problem. Good trade.
He's going to have to get a lot of them made.
Bulls by 10. 86-76. We come up on 5 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Barkley, Hot Rod Williams, and last touch by Williams.
Charles has had a terrific all-around game, and they got a good, solid offensive game by Wesley Person in the first half. He's been shut down here in the second, but you can just see Hot Rod Williams, no lift in those legs.
Bulls got off to the fast start. They led 7-0. And then Phoenix able to come back, had the lead at the half, but Chicago changing its defensive plan in the third quarter, going more to the double team. Kevin Johnson just continues to struggle. 1 of 11 from the field, and the Bulls were able to take control in the third quarter.
You know, when Kevin Johnson is not making that little 16, 17-foot jumper from the perimeter, it really struggles because now people are able to back off him and make him take that tough shot on his penetration.
Kerr coming up short, but handled by Jordan. And Michael posting up. Jordan, rebounded by Finley. And that is number 5 on Michael Jordan.
And a frustration foul, to be sure, as Michael a little upset at the offensive end before, not getting the ball when he wanted. Spun away from the double team, really knew it was not a particularly good shot. And then going for an ill-advised steal to pick up your 5th on this play. Not a smart one by Michael in that situation.
Unusual to see Jordan in foul trouble. So he's playing with 5. Rodman has 5. AC Green is fouled out. Finley with a beautiful touch. How about Michael Finley? 8 for 11 from the field. He has 16 points. Bulls 86. The Suns 78. Michael Finley coming off a strong game in Milwaukee on Friday night. Victory for the Suns. Shot clock at 5. Pippen.
On the face, we got 3 seconds.
And it is a 3-second violation. Whoa.
Wow. Excellent pass by Dennis Rodman to Scottie Pippen, who was able to shed the defender with a little pump fake, and then on the way up, Hot Rod just grabs and holds. And the obvious foul, you thought, but the 3-second violation, not so obvious.
Barkley feeling for Rodman. Barkley with the rebound. And Finley called for the offensive foul. That is number 5 on Finley.
Now, Finley's had a terrific game, a nice homecoming back here to Chicago, but this is where the Suns all season long, let's face it, Paul Westphal, when he was there, they had just unbelievable injuries. But when you've missed players like Marley and Ainge, who were with you so long, who made the good plays at this part of the game, this is where rookies are going to make some mistakes.
2 minutes and 40 seconds to go in the fourth. Kevin Johnson with a gorgeous move around Jordan, who also is conscious of not picking up number 6, but it's a 6-point Chicago lead. The Suns very much into it. Kerr for 3. Rodman with the rebound. Number 19 for Dennis Rodman. His season high is 21. And that a huge offensive rebound. Jordan. And let's see what the call is here. The ball deflected out of bounds by the Suns. And a technical foul called on Phoenix. Hot Rod Williams was very upset and has something to say to Ron Olesiak, and it was hit with a tee.
Well, guess who's in the middle of all of this? Dennis Rodman, who you can see grabs Hot Rod around the neck and chest area and pulls him down. And that's why the eruption from Hot Rod Williams and the Phoenix bench feeling it should have been Dennis Rodman's 6th foul.
Steve Kerr, 90% free throw shooter, hitting the technical, and the Bulls now lead by 7 with 2 minutes 11 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. Chicago Bulls trying to make it 22 straight here at home, trying to make it 15 straight overall wins, which would set a franchise record, and looking to go to 38-3 for the season before they hit the road for the 6-game trip.
3 seconds! 3
Kerr.
seconds!
3-second violation on the Bulls.
Terrific defense by the Suns that time. They actually triple-teamed Michael Jordan. Good ball movement by the Suns, but the Suns did an excellent job of covering up and stopping that play.
Well, Dick Enberg, Paul McGuire, Phil Simms will have the call for you later on today. Super Sunday continuing. The Tempe area not the same with Paul McGuire in town for the entire week. Phoenix with 2 timeouts remaining. Chicago 3 and a 20. Kevin Johnson able to get to it. 7-point Chicago lead. Person not able to hit from downtown. And a foul. According to Joe Crawford, Dennis Rodman hearing it from the crowd for the hustle. Foul on Carr. And Rodman will go to the line with the Suns over the limit. A most unusual stat line for Dennis, who certainly is not noted for scoring. The guy does not look for the offense, but a big 0 in terms of points. 0 for 3 from the field. 20 rebounds, 1 shy of a season high, 9 offensive. And that his first point of the game.
I don't really think he cares much about the points. You know he cares about the rebounds. It's been a struggle all afternoon for the Chicago Bulls, never in sync. And oddly enough, Cotton telling us he wouldn't mind a 105, 110-point game. But one of the reasons why they were able to stay in this one as long as they did is because they played it down in the 80s and 90s. That kind of tempo can bother the Bulls.
89-80 Chicago. Barkley. And rebounded by Pippen. Phoenix Suns gave the Bulls problems for the first half. Chicago has had only 2 close calls at home this season against Portland, a 4-point win. That's Michael Jordan. He now has 31. And a 2-point win over Atlanta in late December. Every other home game, the Bulls have won by 7 or more, and they now lead by 11 with 1:04 to go in this fourth quarter and a timeout taken by Phoenix. Well, coming up next, NBC Sports will present Super Bowl 30 from Sun Devil Stadium. Coverage will begin with the NFL on NBC, co-hosted by Greg Gumbel and Ahmad Rashad. A preview of the big game with an in-depth look at Neil O'Donnell's Steelers, Troy Aikman's Cowboys, and we'll update you on all the NFL's latest news that is coming up on Super Sunday here on NBC. Michael Jordan, 31 points on 13 of 25 from the field. Scottie Pippen turning it on late with 21 points. And Dennis Rodman with 20 rebounds.
And on that last particular play against the trap of the Phoenix Suns, Dennis picking up his 5th assist. He really felt that he was going to get fouled on the catch, knew where Michael Jordan was on the play, and made a beautiful pass just last week. Dennis Rodman getting his first career triple-double with the 10 points, 21 rebounds, 10 assists.
Charles Barkley, 20 points, 16 rebounds, and 8 assists. Phoenix Suns will continue this long road trip Tuesday night in Miami, Wednesday at Atlanta, then games in Cleveland and Washington. While the Bulls will hit the road starting Tuesday night in Houston. The block by Bushler. And last touch by the Suns. Just under 1 minute remaining in the fourth quarter. Phil Jackson talking yesterday about how important defense is to this team. A lot of people don't realize it, but you watch this club in the second half, and you can see how they were able to turn it around with their defensive play.
Well, that's what the championship teams are made of. It's got to be at the defensive end. Of course, the Bulls are another steal here by Chicago, as they have been frisky with their hands. They started it all in the beginning of that third quarter.
Suns with only 28 points in the second half, and Carr was able to recover the dribble. Bulls thought there should have been a travel. 91-82 the score. Half minute to go. Phoenix going to a trap. Here's Rodman. And that's his first field goal. So Dennis Rodman with 4 points along with the 20 rebounds. 93-82 Chicago. Kevin Johnson not able to hit. Pippen hits the deck and calls for a 20. So Kevin Johnson, 2 of 14 from the field. And a 20-second timeout is called.
Well, the Chicago Bulls able to spread the floor here against the gambling, trapping defense of the Suns, as Dennis Rodman battling, scratching, jamming his wrist, jamming his fingers, getting his 20 rebounds, and now getting involved in the scoring part of the game, and finally getting this crowd excited as he tried all game long with this hustling type of basketball.
Yes, a very quiet crowd through the first half. The Chicago Bulls on their way to making it a record of 38-3, 22-0 here at home, and it will be 15 straight wins, which sets a franchise record. They run down the clock, so the Bulls defeat the Suns 93-82. Michael Jordan finishing with 31 points. Question is, will he outscore the Steelers and the Cowboys? Stay tuned for Super Bowl 30. That's coming up next. From Matt Gukas and Dan Hicks, I'm Marv Albert saying so long from Chicago.